All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is all about the Viper into the Oasis update. So I've been talking about this for a little bit. We've been hyping this up on Viper for almost a month now, like 4 weeks, and it is finally taking place this week. So it's already started right now. So by the time this video is out, the brand new season of practice has already opened. The kit map reset is also today at 6 p.m. EST. And then tomorrow, which is Friday at 6 p.m. EST, we are releasing the Community Realm. As you guys know, if you do know about Community Realm, this is a hardcore realm that we brought back in the past, and we're bringing it back for the special occasion of the release of this update. So this is a one-time map. You guys definitely got to take advantage of it if you do want to play something like that. I know a lot of players every now and then ask for a hardcore realm. So this is it. It's a one-time map, as special rewards like cloaks for the winners of F-Top, a lot of gift card payouts, like over $1,000 worth. And yeah, the map starts on Friday. It is a 2-week long map, and like I said, it's a hardcore version of the realm. It's just like Community Realm was in the past, which was very fun for those that played it. But yeah, one-time realm, so take advantage of that while you can. Play it. It's going to be a unique experience. But moving on to Infernal, that is Saturday at 2 p.m. EST, and I'm going to be going over all of the changes to Infernal. All right, so getting into the Infernal changelog, this post is probably up by the time this video is up. I typed up the whole changelog. I went as detailed as I possibly could. But yeah, this is like me talking about it in case you don't want to read. Okay, so first things first, the server IP is MeeZoid.vipermc.net. Okay, you guys got to join that IP. It's my IP. It does help me out directly. Just use my IP. Appreciate it. The map size for Infernal is 8-man factions, and there's a brand new thing called faction roster, which if you play Mine KD, you're probably familiar with this. The roster size will be 16, or I guess it'll be double what the map size is for the entire map or every single upcoming season. So the first major update is actually about render distance. Okay, so we've made a significant change to render distance that on Start of the World, you guys can have up to, I think it's either 12 or 16 render distance completely normal like this. I think it's actually 16. You can see I have 16 render distance. All of you guys can do this, and it will not affect server performance. So this right here is only block render distance. You won't be able to see a player over there on Start of the World, but gradually as the map goes on, for when it's actually possible to increase the entity render distance, we will be able to, like, you'll be able to see players that far away. Okay, that's how crazy it is. I don't think it's actually like 16 chunks. I think it's like the maximum that it is on Minecraft, which can get super far that you don't even see their name tag. So it's really, really cool. But again, we made significant changes to render distance. So if you guys want higher render distance, just use your own settings. It's limited to however far you go. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You can see super, super far, and it's just like a way different experience when you're playing on a massive world like this. The next thing is the Warzone build. You're actually kind of seeing a little bit of it right now. So we did introduce a Warzone build to Viper. Okay, so it's nothing like the Cobra Warzone where it was super mountainous and aggressive. Like you can see, it's pretty basic. Okay, there's just some, basic terrain. Like that's 1 block, 2 block, 3 block. Like it's not super high. There's some structures because we do have event builds and just like a little bit of terrain, some custom trees and stuff like that. Right here is an event area, so we'll be pasting in a different event like every 2 weeks right there. There's one on this side as well. But we can see the other event claim right here. Again, they're just miscellaneous structures, nothing too crazy, and this ends at 500 blocks. So that's 500 blocks away from spawn. That is the spawn build right there, the brand new spawn build. Again, it's the Oasis right there, the Oasis City. And it kind of does this in every single quadrant. Every quadrant has their own clear quadrant, which we'll paste in an event build. So it won't be like empty like it is right now, but we will be rotating out different builds, different events, and you guys will be able to enjoy those. Moving on, we have the Sand Castle. This is just like Cavern, except it is at 1.5k in the overworld, and it's for sand. Okay, I know a lot of people always ask every map, they always help up, where is the desert biome? So now it's guaranteed you guys can always find the sand castle at these coordinates every single map, and it's probably gonna be in a desert always. I think we want to do it like that. That way you can go to these coordinates knowing that there's a desert right there. But if you go into the sand castle, you will see regenerating sand that actually gives you glass instantly. Okay, so you don't need the legendary or the infernal enchant that does that for you. You can literally just go into here, and these do regen. I think the respawn time is like a few seconds or something like that, but there's so much sand everywhere that yeah, it should be good. I mean, on Start of the World, it's probably going to be packed. So if I were you guys, I'd probably stick to the desert. But again, this is here for the entire map. Whenever you guys need sand and you want a special spot for regenerating sand that you don't have to smelt, go here. Similarly, which I'm really going to appreciate, is the Forbidden Forest. The exact same thing, but for wood, okay? So if you mine wood here, it'll break and it'll automatically start regenerating. And again, this is at negative 1.5k, 1.5k in the overworld. And it just constantly regens. So you can mine up all of this wood, and it's just a perfect regenerating forest, because I know that over time the trees get depleted on HCF, and sometimes like people that join late, they might not be able to find wood, or they have to run super far out. So this is where you got to go. Negative 1.5k, 1.5k. All right, now is the partner items. So we do have quite a bit of changes for the partner item wave. A lot of significant items that have existed for like over a few years on HCF have been put in the vault and are not coming back for quite some time, or who knows, we'll see. But pretty much this is the partner item wave based on a lot of your guys' feedback, some people I talked to, and just stuff that I remember from the past. Okay, all right, so I'm going to preface this by saying a lot of these lures or the items themselves are not complete in terms of the design. The functionality is done, so I'll let you guys know which ones are like that. So for example, you might see an old item, but it's actually a brand new item. So the first things first is the explosive egg. It is coming back. This is the one that you can throw at players and it pulls them towards you with an explosion. The next item is the anti-trap rod. Okay, this is pretty much like a radius exotic bone. I can right click it and an active 3-block radius. So if I was standing right here, it'd be 1, 2, actually this might count as 1. It's either 1, 2, 3, or it's 1, 2, 3. Active radius around me wherever I move becomes an exotic boned region, so they can't place blocks in that area, or if there's a player in here, they can't place blocks anywhere outside. So that's how that works. It lasts 15 seconds. And yeah, it works just like a bone. The next one is a classic, which I might change the visual so it doesn't get mixed up with ninja abilities, but the rage ability is a revamped rage ability. So if you guys didn't remember what this is, it was an old item that was like literally, it was the inspiration for the combo ability, which became an iconic item where you right click it and every time you get hit in a 10-second period, you get 1 second of strength 2. So we revamped it. We made it so you actually get strength 2 and speed 3. So it's more like a rage ability. Like you just go crazy. You get speed 3 and you just go absolutely crazy. It's still capped at 10 seconds. And yeah, I might change the visual to something else other than another star. The risky mode is the next item. This one, you receive a 4% damage boost against all players for every heart you're missing at the time you activate it. It does not work against classes, obviously, or actually, I don't know if it's against classes. I don't think it works against classes or players who are archer tagged. So that's how the risky mode works. Okay, yeah, I just confirmed it. So if you attack someone while you have your damage boost active and they're a class or archer tagged, it just won't deal the extra damage. Obviously, we can't make it too crazy. It's just like that with the focus mode. Moving on from that, we have an OG item, the second chance. Pretty much you right click it and it resets your pro cooldown. Pretty simple. Oh, also, since we're in this build, I forgot to mention, in the Forbidden Forest as well as the Sandcastle, partner items are enabled. Next, we have the safety net, which I kind of forgot to give myself. So safety net. So this is pretty much the close calls brother is how I'll describe it. Instead of it being an aggro item, it's a defensive item. So while under 4 hearts to receive, you right click it and you receive speed 3, res 5, and regen 3. So it's very, very good for surviving and pretty much not taking any damage at all. Portal Bard 2.0 is the one that you place down an actual bard and it gives you passive effects for 30 seconds as well as like the double effect or like the active effects. By the way, I did fix the issues with this like a long time ago, actually before we brought back Viper, so that like your effects do get properly restored when the mob dies. Like it won't mess with your effects anymore. Next item, the Thor ability. This is the one where you right click it and you get access to the Thor ability for 10 seconds where every hit you deal has a 20% chance of striking them with a damaging lightning bolt. This is a really fun one. It's all about luck really, but if you get really lucky, it can be one of the most OP items in the game. So the next item is actually a new one. It is modeled off the MeeZoid eye though, so just ignore the fact that it's called the MeeZoid eye. This is pretty much the item. It's called the Eye of the Demon, okay? So the way it works, it's exactly like the MeeZoid eye, except when you use it, the person you're teleporting to gets put on 3 seconds of Pearl cooldown, as long as they have under 3 seconds of cooldown. So if they already have 5 seconds of cooldown, then nothing will happen. If they have under 3 seconds of cooldown, if they have like 1 second or no cooldown, then they'll get 3 seconds applied to them. This is made so that nobody can pearl while you're teleporting them. None of that time warp trapping BS. You guys know that. But yeah, that's the first thing. And then the second thing that's upgraded with this item is that when you actually do teleport to the player, you get 5 seconds of strength too. Next is another brand new item, which was started with an old item called the Inhibitor. It's actually called the Pickpocket. So the Pickpocket, you pretty much steal a player's effects. So whatever effects they have, you steal them, you get them applied to you for 10 seconds. So if they have strength 2 for like 1 second, but you use it, you will steal their strength 2 and you'll get it for 10 seconds. Then as you steal it, they are also blocked as if it was like an effect disabler for 5 seconds. So again, you steal all their effects, they all disappear. Whatever effects they had, you get them for 10 seconds, and they are then blocked from getting effects from Wither Bard, custom enchants for 5 seconds, and then it'll automatically restore their custom enchants. So you don't got to worry about if this item gets used on you to like take off your boots to get speed again. It'll automatically come back, and just for safety, you cannot use this on classes, obviously. And the last item in partner packages, which again, I'm talking about partner packages, okay? I haven't talked about what's in the crates yet. So partner packages, this is what the partner packages will have, is the Nano Boost. This is a brand new item. Again, there's no lore yet. I didn't do the design of it for yet. But if you guys know about Overwatch, that's pretty much what it is. You shoot your teammate with an arrow, And as long as you hit them with it, they will be granted strength 2, speed 3, and res 1 for, I believe, 10 seconds. Yes, 10 seconds. And again, if you hit an enemy with it or something, it doesn't really matter, doesn't do anything. You don't get put on cooldown unless you successfully hit your teammate. So it is a pretty good effect, but I'm thinking about like in the actual heart of the moment when you're fighting or you're in a base, it's going to be kind of hard to pull out a bow and shoot your teammate. So that's why it's a pretty good effect, and it's kind of cool. So again, those are the items that will be in the partner packages, the actual ender chest. Moving on to the crates. So the seasonal crate is going to be a crate that contains the 4 basic items of HCF that pretty much I don't think could ever realistically be vaulted. They just have to be there. That would be the exotic bone, which I'm not going to explain, the time warp, the portable bard, which is the one that's like the pocket effects that you get like a strength 2, and then the teleportation ball, the snowball. Okay, so those are the 4 classics. They'll only have 1 spot in the crate for each of them, but they'll be high quantity. So like if you roll it, you'll get like 8 or more, maybe like 10 or something like that. We'll see. But yeah, that is the Oasis crate or the seasonal crate. It changes every update. It's a new seasonal name, but again, those will be the 4 basic core items will be in that crate. The final spot for partner items is the partner crate, and this is where we introduce a new concept, which I think is going to be very, very interesting to help keep the gameplay loop a little bit more refreshing every single map. So we'll have 1 permanent item in the partner crate, which is going to be the anti-trap star. Okay, these are introduced to kind of counter the really annoying bow drop downs. Again, that's the only place you'll be able to get it from when it comes to like crates, partner package, all that is the partner crate, and it'll stay there. Then there will be 3 slots, and we will call these the variable slots. Every single map, we will cycle these 3 items out, whether all of them, 1 of them, or 2 of them, for a brand new item. And when I say brand new, I mean like bring back an old one, revamp an old one, or an actual brand new one. And we will often talk to you guys to see what you guys want to see back. Okay, so the reason for this, again, it's the variable items. They'll change from map to map, and this will make it so you guys can like experience, I guess, a little bit new gameplay week to week when it comes to base rating, stuff like that. Keep in mind, partner items are disabled in the nether, in the end, in the war zone. So any team fight area, they're not there at all. So you guys don't have to worry about that if you're like a team fight player. But for those that like base rating, you guys know that it's fun to like swap things up with some new items. So every single week, I think it'll be either every week or every 2 weeks, we will swap those items out. You guys let me know what you want to see, if you want to see it every map or every other map. The next thing is very, very cool is F upgrades. Okay, so I'm gonna open this menu again. Keep in mind the design is not like, I didn't like finalize the lore. I'm recording this while we're working on this sort of stuff because I have to post it. If I do F upgrade, you can see we do have F upgrades now. So ignore the lore, but focus on like the title. So we have the partner item cooldown reduction. So this is, you can pretty much spend crystals on faction upgrades, and we have 6 for now, which again, we can add more, but we want to start off with a moderate amount with some that are really good, some that are like good, but you probably won't need them, just to kind of see how it goes, because we also have to scale this in a way that like I want it to actually be affordable for people, because to get a lot of crystals, it's not that easy, because right now you only get them through F top points and stuff like that. So we'll have to look into getting other ways for you guys to get crystals, but yeah, this is how we're introducing the system. So F upgrades, you can buy them with crystals. We got partner item cooldown reduction. This will decrease your individual partner item cooldown, not like the global cooldown of 10 seconds. It'll be the individual items. You get a 10%, 15%, or 20% reduction. That might change to actually be like 5, 10, and 15, a little bit like nerfed a little bit. Again, this isn't finalized yet, but the ideas are. Then we have the faction home timer. Again, to completely ignore the freaking bottom half of the lore, but pretty much you can decrease your faction, your F home cooldown by a percentage. So the way this works is obviously when you're in Wilderness, it's a 10-second timer. When you're in someone else's claim, it's a 20-second timer. So if I F home right now, I think I do have this at level 2, which is set to, I think, a 20% reduction. If I F home in the Wilderness, it's an 8-second timer. So it took off 2 seconds, but if I F home inside a claim, oh, I guess I have to actually get an F home. It would be 16 seconds. So you save some time there. Again, the specifics on that isn't finalized, but that upgrade will be in the game. Going back to F upgrades, DTR evasion. This is just reducing your DTR freeze timer by 2, 4, or 6 minutes, a flat amount. Again, ignore the cost. Those are just placeholders, but that's how that's going to work. Then we have mobs galore, increases your spawner efficiency. That's just going to decrease the time between spawns and make spawners faster. The reason why this matters, I will explain soon. Actually, you'll probably connect the dots shortly. Then we have an XP booster, which is the, pretty much just boosts the XP you get while grinding mobs. And then we have a mob drop multiplier. This is mainly for like, I mean, yeah, you could use it for grinding. You don't really need to, though. It's mainly for like killing creepers and endermen. You will get increased pearls, gunpowder. Any mob you kill will have increased rewards. And the way it works is it actually rounds up. So as soon as you get the first level boost, you'll 100% will get boosted rewards. So this is what goes hand in hand with those F upgrades I was talking about. XP shop, we have introduced an XP shop. All you do is type XP shop. Again, it's still being refined what's actually in the XP shop, because we gotta kind of have to balance it properly. Obviously, there's no Inquisitive or Rage or Blaze spawners. Like, XP is pretty mild on here, and we gotta like kind of balance it right and actually know what to sell. So it'll probably start off as a very basic feature. It might be underutilized, but we plan to make it more common for players to actually progress in a way that it'll be useful to use. Like, maybe it'll even get crystals, or you can buy crystal vouchers, stuff like that. So we'll look into that, but again, it'll be a pretty basic thing on the start of the world until we get some more feedback, some more I guess refinement based on the XP data we gather. If you guys have suggestions for what should go in the XP shop, like, I don't want to sell just straight up partner items, like specific ones. I think those should always be randomized, but like partner packages, keys, like all that stuff is possible. Probably crystals as well. That crystals is probably a good idea, because that would actually tie right into F upgrades as well. We've introduced /trade. You can now trade your friends, anyone else, from within a safe zone or from within your own claim while out of combat, just for safe, non-scam trading. Journals have been released to Viper. So this is actually taking place of the Viper Pass. The Viper Pass was, you know, it was a good idea at heart, but we never actually finished the challenges, and it was just a little all over the place. So what it is now is journals will be a new feature that you can either, you know, participate for free, or you can get the premium version. And the way it'll work is, for example, /journal, you'll pretty much buy the journal for, or you can, again, for free. But if you do buy it, you get premium access for 30 days. So you'll get the permission to access the premium rewards for 30 days. So that's multiple maps, obviously. And the way this will work, it'll be a super non-grindy, pretty easy journal that you can do to get some OP rewards. And yeah, that's how it works. So it'll be either subscription or a one-time thing that you can do, and it'll be pretty cheap. And again, you can just claim premium rewards as you do these challenges, but they'll be super basic, like not like this, where it's like break dirt and place dirt, but they will be super quick, to the point that you should be able to finish them within the first day, and they're not, you don't have to like focus on it as you would with, like, you know, the Cobra ones or the Minecadia ones. This one's kind of undecided, but there likely will be a new seasonal V kit that can only be purchased during this update, or like the first month of the update, and we might make it even a permanent one if you do unlock it. Again, that's not decided yet, but I just want to give a heads up for that. All right, smart DTR has been introduced to Viper. So the way this works is, we did this on Cobra, and it's actually very beneficial for smaller factions of all sizes. So the way it'll work, the server will automatically detect the lowest faction size, which will always be obviously one player. One player factions will now have a 25-minute DTR regen to start. That'll be the base regen right there. The max faction size, which is obviously based on the map size. For example, on the release, it'll be 8-man factions, or the maximum size of any map will have 45 minutes of DTR regen upon a death. Okay, that's the base starting. In between 1 and 8, it'll scale proportionally. So for example, like 2-man teams would be 27 minutes, 52 seconds. 3-man teams would be 30 minutes, 37 seconds, and so on and so on. It just increases proportionally. So the larger the faction is, the larger the DTR regen time is. So that's the first part of Smart DTR. I will also say there are plenty of exploit protections. So like you can't be on DTR freeze, kick everyone, die, and then lower your DTR regen. That won't work. It'll remember what you died at originally. And then if someone like literally kicks a bunch of members before somebody dies in their faction to get lower regen, that's just known as DTR evasion. Okay, so I mean, that would just be bannable, and it's very easy to confirm that. The second part of Smart DTR actually ties in with the XP shop, the F upgrades of XP, utilizing mob spawners. Every time you hit a mob, you have a 1%, actually not a 1% chance. You have a 5 to 10% chance to remove 1 second off of your active DTR freeze timer, okay? And that 5 to 10% chance scales based on faction size. So the lower your faction size, the higher the chance. So if you're a solo, you'll have a 10% chance each kill to get 1 second off. And this is kind of just a miscellaneous thing that worked really well on Cobra, because you can insta-kill a bunch of mobs. We'll have to test to see if that's the case on here with, like, because, I mean, obviously there's no Inquisitive, Rage, nothing like that. But pretty much what it would do is you could just grind mobs, so you could work on getting XP. And in the meantime, you're also shaving off time, you're off your DTR freeze timer. And, like, I know 10% to shave off 1 second may not seem like a lot, but on Cobra, you could kill 20 mobs per second. So it was like pretty good. You get down there pretty fast. I will say though, the bottom line that you can reduce to is 10 minutes. Once it hits 10 minutes, you can't go any further than that. So there will always be at least 10 minutes of DTR regen timer and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll likely have to rebalance this, knowing that you can't insta-kill 20 mobs like you could on Minecadia, so I'll look into that. The next thing is actually one of my favorite parts of the update so far, which is the Stronghold build. So Stronghold, just kind of like something that's, you know, like Outpost, like Minecadia Stronghold, it's going to exist in the prime areas of claiming, which is going to be around 300, 1300 on South Road. Okay, you're going to be right off of South Road. It's going to be there. You can claim right around it. Partner items will be enabled inside the Stronghold, and the Stronghold is a 24/7 capture zone that you and your faction can capture. And while it's captured, you will have, like, you'll be subject to passive rewards. Okay, and there's also you know, at any time a faction can neutralize it, contest it, and capture it themselves. It's just 24/7 ongoing. While it's captured, you have passive rewards, kind of like Outpost, except it's not a DTC or a core. It's just a capture zone that you stand on. And again, I think it's going to be really cool because, one, partner items are enabled, so it'll bring out the smaller factions, the base PvPers, all that sort of stuff. And two, it's literally in the middle of the prime claiming location, to the point that I think players might even make derps around it. They might like claim next to it strategically to actually contest it a lot. I think it's going to be really cool. The rewards are currently undecided, but I think we're going to be doing some base rating type rewards, base player type rewards, and I think I might actually do some sort of passive looting system as well. So like kind of like raid outpost on Mine Katie, every 30 minutes you'd be given like a big package. Could be something like that. So stay tuned for the post on the specifics on that. The next update is the AntiClean. So we actually did just introduce this for this map. So if you're playing this map, you probably have noticed the AntiClean. It's something that was requested by the team fighters, understandably so. So the way it'll work, it's the least restrictive as possible as to not disrupt gameplay, but pretty much an AntiClean timer is that when you're fighting another power faction, you guys will be locked into combat with each other and no other factions can interfere. They can't pot you, they can't debuff you, they can't mage debuff you, they can't hit you with rods or bows, they can't damage you, they can't hit you, all that sort of stuff. So it just lets people team fight in peace. The way it'll work for an AntiClean timer to actually start, both factions need at least 80% of the maximum faction size online at one time, and this is rounded down. So for example, on an 8-man's map, that would mean you need 6.4 members online, which would round down to 6. So only 6, 7, or 8 on an 8-man's map can initiate an AntiClean timer, and it only works in the Nether and the End, and outside of all event claims. So you have to be in the Nether or the End. That's like the first restriction, or the first guideline has to be an End or Nether, and you cannot be in an event claim. So the reason that it doesn't actually apply to event claims is because it's actually kind of common for multiple factions to knock a Koth at once, and we can't like interfere with that. So if you're actually trying to capture the event, then you're not really trying to team fight. So in that aspect, we won't protect you from, like, you know, all other factions. Like, you're trying to contest it, anyone should try to contest you. It should be fair like that. Also, not to mention the amount of exploits that people could do if you were able to lock yourselves in combat while on a cap zone. They could literally just sit you there and let you cap. Obviously they'd be bannable, but it's just not worth the moderation. So again, we're trying to introduce it at a very low state that you guys don't have to worry about there being massive exploits or it affecting gameplay a ton. And not even to mention, like, Oddball is an event that you pick up inside of an event claim, but then you take it into the Nether wilderness. So if you're in the wilderness, then, you know, like that, like, obviously everyone should be able to hit you if you're holding the Oddball, because you're just trying to run around with it and they're trying to get it back. So with that being said, let me first define a void region. Is pretty much a region that the AntiClean cannot initiate, and if you do have an AntiClean timer for some reason and enter a void region, then it won't protect you. And you'll be able to notice this because it'll actually show on your scoreboard the AntiClean timer, and it'll be crossed out. So when you, let's say you have AntiClean timer on, but you enter a Koth claim, it'll be crossed out and you're no longer protected. But if you come back out, you'll be protected again. And similarly, if you're holding the Oddball or your faction's holding the Oddball, you guys cannot be protected by AntiClean timer. And if anyone isn't within 50 blocks, or I think 30 blocks of the Oddball's current location, whether someone's holding it or not, that's also a voided region, so everyone can fight each other around there. So again, kind of complex, but for the team fighters, I'm hoping you guys understood what I said. Again, I have this all written out clearly on the forums post. If like I'm just talking kind of dumb and bad, you know, bad rotation, I don't know. Go read that if you want more info on it. But again, it's trying to not affect casual gameplay at all. That's why there's a faction member limit. That's why it's only in the End of Nether. And we're really not trying to disrupt events, okay? But we will maybe, like, we could introduce something where the voided region is only in like the inner region of an event claim, so like only the cap zone. But still, there's just so much that could go wrong with that. Not to mention that some claims aren't perfectly square, so like it'd have to be a manual detection, and it gets tough. So hopefully you guys understand that this is like a good positive change for team fighters, that you guys can AntiClean or have AntiClean in these team fights in the Nether and the End. But as soon as it gets mixed in with actual competitive events, like, you can't really protect with that without, you know, compromising the integrity of the event. Cooldowns mod will now actually show your partner package cooldown. So if I throw this egg, you will see the egg, and there it is. It's counting down. That is my rage ball timer, guys. This is going to make such a big difference when I'm in bases, when you guys are in bases. If you're using this mod, I would highly suggest you use it, because, dude, like, I always hate having to like cycle out items like this and punch the ground like C. Like it just wastes time, it wastes focus. But now all I gotta do is glance down, look at the item, and that's it. Because again, if I use this right here, you can see that's on cooldown, and it uses a specific item. And since there won't be any overlapping items, which is kind of why I want to change the rage ability and all that sort of stuff. Since there's no overlapping items, you'll know which item it corresponds to. Again, I love this cooldowns mod, only available on Lunar for Viper. So I would definitely use this. Next is we introduced a bunch of kill tags. You guys can check them out on the store. They're just cosmetic kill tags when you kill someone. And then a bunch of miscellaneous changes, which we have. Players can now open keys from within their own claim while out of combat using /keys. So it's really cool. You can just open your keys from your own claim. No longer have to run a spawn since they're already virtual anyways. There's no point of keeping that up. Players with starting timer, so those that join after Start of the World timer, can actually use /spawn now. So it's a little bit more even, a little bit more like you're actually playing on Start of the World, and it'll be a little bit easier for you guys to access the shops and all that sort of stuff. Rod cooldown has been added to the scoreboard, just like this. If I do a rod, you can see it's right there on the scoreboard. Challenges now have a length of 90 minutes instead of 3 hours. This is going to make it just so you guys can, you know, have more challenges, more loot to get, because these are pretty easy challenges. And guys, these are good rewards. These challenge keys are like on par. Actually, I think they're better than seasonal and partner keys. They're like a really good crate. The dragon egg has been modified to, instead of reducing it by 15 minutes flat like your DTR freeze timer, is actually 33%. It'll reduce it by 33% because of the fact smart DTR changes everything. Like if I was a solo who had 25 minutes of regen and I had both the dragon egg and the outpost with what it previously had, I'd have -5 minutes of regen. So obviously that's not going to work. So it's a percentage based on your starting freeze. Okay, and same thing again with outpost. Did the same thing here. We use such outpost. You can see it is a 33% lower DTR freeze. And then the last miscellaneous thing I have is we vaulted the Viper Pass for this season of Viper because we're doing the Chronicles and the Journals and stuff like that. So that's pretty much all. I'm sure I'm going to be missing something. There's some other stuff I know I want to try to get in before we actually release. But yeah, I hope you guys are looking forward to it. I hope this is a decent amount of changed content, and the whole variable partner item thing I think is really cool. I think you guys will like that. It'll switch up gameplay from map to map. Again, give me your suggestions. What first 3 items should we see? There are so many. There's the Berserk ability. There's just so much fun ones out there. Maybe even the old hammer that takes off the helmet. Like that one was so OP, but everyone's wanted that back, but we've never done it because it's so OP. I don't know. Who knows? Just comment what you want to see down below. And yeah, I'm excited to see you guys on for the releases. Okay, starting with, again, practice already open. Kit map today, 6 p.m. EST. Community realm tomorrow, 6 p.m. EST. And Infernal Saturday, 2 p.m. EST. MeeZoid.vipermc.net. I will see you guys online. Thank you guys for the consistent support. I love you guys. Peace out.